today. A couple of the things right off the bat, just basic features. We have clear, CLS, just aliases that do the same thing, and a banner, just kind of vanity commands. A few just basic things, time, nothing too great there. A few Easter eggs, die, pew pew. So nothing really too great there, just basic stuff we've been working on. Beyond that, one of the modules I'm going to show you right away is called pscan. It's a basic port scanner. It's really not the greatest thing in the world. It serves more as a proof of concept, just a basic outline of how to write a module for OpenWire. If you did need a port scanner, we actually even have a built-in port scanner, so something like this should execute fine just from right within the framework. If you want to see a list of the libraries that are currently installed, you just type libs. What libraries are is they're sort of like customized modules, and these are used by people writing modules. They give basic functions that are universal throughout the framework. So if you've written a module in Python and you don't exactly know how to do text encoding in Ruby, we've tried to transition that a little easier by making a standard set of these libraries to use. So you can see all those using libs, and those can be added dynamically. You can write your own and throw them in. On top of that, if you want to see what modules are installed, you type list. And here we see there's different sections. We have exploits, auxiliaries, and payloads. So the one we're going to look at is the auxiliary pscan. So to load that, we're going to use augs pscan. So now we've loaded pscan, and you can see the prompts change to include pscan. If we want to see which variables are available, just type show variables. And you see there's port range, which is optional. It has a default value, and then there's target, which is required. So we'll set the target localhost. We'll set the port range 1 to 65,535, so that'll cover them all. And just type exploit. And it should go through, and it'll check all of them. We'll see if anything comes up. Yep, so there's one port open, successful. And if you ever want to unload a module and go back to the main interface, just type back. Okay, so now we've looked at all that. We've looked at how to use the basic module or framework and how to set some of these variables. Let's take a look at some of the code and how pscan's actually written. So you can see in the initialization function, it's pretty basic. We just outline the basic properties here. So you have your name, a basic description. We want to have a reference to the framework itself so that we can access all the framework's properties in here. So things like the libraries that we looked at before. So we send that through as a parameter when we initialize, and then it's available as a property of each module. These methods here, load module and install module, these aren't currently implemented. These are going to be later when we have databases integrated. It will be a way of checking to make sure that it's installed on the database. And then down here, if we look at the check method, here we see this module does not support check. Check is required in every module, but it doesn't have to do anything necessarily. So in an auxiliary module like this, we don't, like every system can be scanned regardless of the results you'll get. So in this one, we just have it output this module does not support check, and then it returns true. If it returns false, that would tell the framework that the check failed, and it wouldn't run the exploit. So in this one, we just want to force it to return true. And then in exploit, this is sort of like the main function of the module. This is the start and finish of the actual execution of the module. So in here we can see it does a basic ping to see if it'll respond to a ping. This is one of the reasons pscan isn't like a proper module. Just because it doesn't respond to a ping doesn't mean it's down, but this isn't supposed to be an elaborate port scanner. It's just proof of concept. So for the sake of this, if it does not respond to a ping, it's considered down and it cancels. If it does respond to a ping, it will go on to the scan method here, which we can see down here It basically parses the port range. So port range, it doesn't have to be in the 1 to whatever with a hyphen as a range. It can be a comma separated value list, or it can be an individual port. So right here we're just parsing it to see how it's actually represented. And then we begin the actual scan. So it goes through and scans every port listed. And this is the actual attempt at making a connection. It just opens a socket on that port. If it's successful, it shows that it's open. If it's not, then it shows that it's not. Again, like if you look through this module, it's clearly a flawed port scanner, but it really just serves as a proof of concept for this type of work. So this is just a couple of things we've been working on. This is the Python framework and how it's coming along. You'll probably notice it looks quite similar to the PHP. We're also working on a few other goodies. Right now I'm currently developing some PSExec and SMB relay tools, so stay tuned and take a look out for those.